2011, I did publish it to the public, let's say, but it took me 1 year to create it. Can you hear me well? Because I can see your...
Yes.
Okay, good. So yeah, but it took me 1 year to create it. So it took me fully 6 months from scratch to create everything, and extra more 6 months to add the extra functionality. So imagine the first release was after 1 year of constant development every day. So it was my first release was at 2011, and when I first started, I was sending a lot of links, like in the CodeIgniter forum, like in other forums. Like I did some AdWord. I was answering questions. Like I was pretty much everywhere, and I didn't have enough of attention. So I didn't know how to show to people that I have something, a good product. I also had, and I still have, so my basic traffic was at the webanddevelopment.com. So I have a personal blog there. And it seems that still it wasn't enough. So imagine when I'm talking about visits, at the beginning I had like 0 to 5 people per day. So it was like, this was the beginning. And I saw that the most famous blog post, it was not the Grocery CRUD, although it was first and at the top. It was the autocomplete of CodeIgniter, because CodeIgniter functions doesn't have autocomplete, and I did create a library that you just adding it, and your editor had the autocomplete. So for example, this DB something, you can have the autocomplete of the functions, so you know how to use it. And so I did start it like that, and it was... And later I had 5 to 10 people per day, but I have to say that I was really happy about that, because I was just realizing that 10 people from all the world, every day, they are seeing the CRUD, and it was something new to me. I said, wow, this is great. Like, and later it was going 10 to 15, and I said, wow, this is a good thing. Although I was still sending emails through MailChimp. I was doing really hard marketing, and I couldn't get the attention, but I was still okay with that, because even 15 people per day, that means like 400, 500 people per month. It was enough people that I will never meet. So it was, for me, it was a mind-blowing thing that I can do that. So I remember myself, after 6 months, I had 56 visits for 1 day only. And I did treat my friends beer, like I would say, like 56 visits. Let's drink some beer for that. We need to and later,
celebrate.
Yeah, exactly. And later, more and more people were getting in, and they were understanding the quality of that. And I did notice that people was not getting into with my links. They were just talking to each other. So with the word of mouth, they were getting in. I will give you an example. So for example, when I had one visit from France, suddenly all the week was visits from France. When I had one visit from Germany, it was more visits from Germany. And I said, wow, like I was doing all of this kind of stuff, and just people said, oh, look at this CRUD. Yeah, and the developers were talking to each other, and this is how... so the first thing was that I saw that people were talking about. And the second thing, the big change that I did, is to change the website, just the website, so the design of the website, to do it more like HTML5, a new easy parts with easier documentation to read.
Mm-hmm.
And this was enough to give a big growth to the website. So the product was exactly the same. I didn't do any big core changes, and I saw the growth getting higher and higher. And one last thing, I promise.
It's okay.
It okay. It was one day. So I had something like 300, 400 visits per day,
Oh,
and
wow.
Code Igniter by themselves in the Facebook, they did add one link to me, and at that day I had 1,700 visits.
Oh,
The
wow.
server went down, not about the traffic, because the server was crappy. Sorry about that. And I could have even more, and suddenly I did realize it the next day because I was sleeping. So next day I saw 1,700, and my site was down for like 6 hours, and I said, I'm losing, like they are pressing the link and they can't see it. And later I saw like they were coming like 700, 600, and then back to the 400. So I was very lucky that Code Igniter mentioned me, but I did lose this more attention. But from there on, it went more famous. So after that, Google also recognized it, and my result was higher. So because at that day, and when I started Grocery CRUD, it was because I desperately searching for a library like that, and I couldn't find any part of that, like uh, anything even small to extend it. So I did say, okay, I have to create it. And it's still like the only one that has a CRUD, like a library for Code Igniter. So that's why it became famous. And I hit the top that it's still the same. It's like 1,600 visits per day. And this is the normal, because those are the people that are searching for Code Igniter CRUD. And it's been like stable for the last 2 years. So I know that for Code Igniter, this is the community really that are searching. So yeah, that was my story. I don't know if you have questions about anything that I just mentioned.
Yeah, I think it's I like what you shared. So that is really is an interesting story. I wanted to ask about the motivation why you did that, why you created Grocery CRUD, but I think you already answered that just now. So I think I agree with you where up to this day, apart from Grocery CRUD, I don't know any other that is at least on par as what you have
Yeah,
when it comes to a CRUD system for Coordinator.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think I really have to thank you for creating Grocery CRUD and giving it away to the public, to the programmers. Thank you.
yeah. That was my pleasure, and that's why I gave it for free. So my first inspiration was, um, okay, I just really want to be something there at the internet, and so I can download it and other people can extend it. So this was the idea, because
Oh,
yeah,
why did you give it away for free? Why did you open source it?
yeah. So my idea was, this is something that doesn't exist, uh, and I wanted uh, just to be at the internet, and people will extend it. So it was mainly something to be there as an idea, and then see what I will do next. So it was like there is nothing there. There is not the, um, let's say, the culture to create a library with a CRUD. Why it's that? Let's publish it and start an idea in order to extend it and see how it will go. So with this, I will gain as well, because the same code, I will use it for my company and I will use it for other projects as well. And this is still what I'm doing. So when I want to create something fast and there is a website that needs something to be done really fast, like I can give you an example. Rather to create a website within 1 month, I can create it like in 1 day, because I'm just creating the tables, I'm adding the CRUDs, and then I'm designing the front end. So at the beginning, because people want to see something faster, it is good to start with a ready CRUD. And because things are getting improved, you can't just have a CRUD generator that you are pressing a button and all the code is generated, and after 2 years everything is old and you need to rewrite everything from the beginning. So because it was not the idea there at the internet, I wanted to create something to be there and to speak with people and see how they are thinking about it. And this is the main reason that I did it. So yeah, open source, I think it was the only choice for me at the beginning, because I wanted to see how things are getting into the internet. So how you connect with people, how for example, how you do marketing, how something is getting more famous. So things that I didn't know and I wanted to learn, I've learned them. And for example, now I have a more experience about how you can build something at the internet, how you can have a product, for example, how it's something with value, and to do other things like now my new idea is to do the YouTube channel and help people to learn stuff that I've learned with my experience. So I'm saying, okay, having 10 years experience in programming, I don't want to have 10 more and not teaching to other people anything. So I would prefer to take a step back and say, okay, these 10 years, what I've learned. There are newcomers that they are starting their work right now. They can't find their first work, or they are struggling a lot with PHP or even a simple HTML page that you can't find the help, because everyone say, yeah, it's just HTML, it's just PHP, yeah, it's CodeIgniter, you will figure it out. So
just Google it.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm having this need to teach some basic things first, and that's why I had the YouTube channel, but now I'm adding more videos that are teaching other stuff rather than Grocery CRUD. So far I did a video for CodeIgniter 4, and the other was CodeIgniter versus Laravel. And my next video, although I don't want to promise, probably it will be done.
That's fine.
In time.
I'm good
is for programmers, like how you can find your first job as a programmer if you don't have experience, because there is a paradox out there that they all need a 2 years experience. So how you can actually start if you don't have the 2 years experience? So I want to explain my experience about that, and also help people to find their first job, for example, or at least know some things that I know from my experience.